Very good morning to everyone, guys. Well, today we are here to understand few important parameters. Okay, and to begin with, we are going to understand how are we supposed to present our paper. So we'll be discussing few important presentation tips. Apart from that, we're going to analyze chemistry board paper of 2020, and we're going to discuss topic wise few important tips. Okay, to begin with, let's understand how are we supposed to present our paper. Now for that, here I have displayed a particular paper which is written. Okay, the very first point, make sure you always write the option number. As you can see over here we have to mention the correct option number. If you write the option number correct, it is always preferable. As you can see here, it is written D, then the correct answer, then they have written C, and then the correct answer. So it is always better to present a proper option number. Okay. Next, the next very important point, along with the correct option number, mention the correct answer as well. Okay. All right. Next comes, while writing chemical equation, make sure that the equation is properly balanced. If the equation is not balanced, then you will not get the marks. Next, always mention the required conditions on the arrow and the required details like concentrated, dilute, hot, cold. These conditions are to be mentioned correctly. Apart from that, if there are certain important signs like gas, precipitate, or the evolution of heat, absorption of heat, it is always better to mention all these signs. Okay. Next comes, while solving numericals. Now, when I talk about numericals, always mention proper equation. Like for example, if there is Gay-Lussac law, you have to mention the proper equation. Always mention the law which we are using. Like while solving questions based on Gay-Lussac's law, it is always better to mention by Gay-Lussac's law. As you can see here in the answer, it is mentioned as by Gay-Lussac's law. So it is always better to mention the law which we are using, mention the equations properly. Apart from that, whenever a proper pair has to be compared, like here the comparison is done between ethane and carbon dioxide. So always mention that pair first, don't directly use the numbers. At the end, most important thing, that you have to mention the proper answer. The final answer is to be mentioned correctly. Okay. Moving further to the next important tips, and that is always used formula wherever it is needed. If you're using any particular formula, we have to mention that formula. For example, we are using, let's say, molecular weight is equals to 2 into vapor density. So it is always better that you, whenever you're using this formula, you mention that formula over there. Okay. Next comes about structures. Now, when I talk about structures, I'm talking about the IUPAC nomenclature, either from structure to name or from name to structure. In that situation also, always mention a particular structure properly. If the question is mentioned that write structural formula, then write proper structural formula. Draw proper structure. Don't use condensed form. If you have written condensed form, instead of using structural formula, marks will be deducted. Next, most important thing, don't do any kind of overwriting or cancellation for any particular atom or a bond. Don't do any overwriting or a cancellation. You have to write proper. So there is no cancellation allowed or overwriting is allowed when we are drawing any structure. Most important point, you can draw the structure with pen only. You're not supposed to use pencil while drawing the structure. And once again, you will draw condensed form only and only if it is mentioned, draw condensed form. Okay. Next comes electron dot diagram. Now, when I talk about electron dot diagram, I'm talking about chapter chemical bonding. Again, mention the make sure that you're drawing the diagram with pen only. Next most important thing, mention all minute details. Now, when I say all minute details, like, for example, in this particular diagram, we have to mention that it is water molecule. Then this is hydrogen in the form of ion. Next, as we can see, there is a lone pair. So we have to mention that detail that there is a lone pair. After the bond is formed, here we are getting the positive charge. So that we need to mention. So mention all minute details. If it is the formation of water molecule or it is a formation of any particular compound, then make sure that you are actually writing the electronic configuration properly. You are naming the substance, whether it is an atom form or it is ion form. You have to mention that detail as well. So mention each and every minute detail when you are drawing any particular diagram. Moving further to the next very important point, there is a question called as distinguish using chemical test. Now, when I talk about distinguish between chemical tests, first of all, always write distinguish in the distinguish format only, write in a proper tabular form, and make sure we are using chemical test. So whenever you use a chemical test, always highlight a reagent which we are using. Like for example, in this case, as we can see that we are using dilute hydrochloric acid. So we have to highlight the dilute hydrochloric acid which we have used, but always mention the same reagent in both. You cannot use different reagent while writing the chemical test. Apart from that, you cannot write the name of product directly. You have to use the observation for mentioning the difference. Like for example, in this case, a colorless gas is released, which turns lime water milky and turns acidified KMNO4 from pink to clear colorless. Fine. So you have to mention the test. You're not supposed to use any particular name, or if you're using name, along with name, you have to mention the test. Without test, the answer is wrong. Okay. The same technique you have to use while writing observation as well. You cannot name the product. So these are few basic things which we have to mention correctly. Apart from that, I would suggest that make sure you're writing new question on a new page. That's a basic tip while writing the presentation. Apart from that, if for example, the question number 2 is continuing for next 2 page as well, then you have to mention question number on each and every page. I repeat, if the question number 2 is continuing on 2-3 page, so on all those pages you have to mention question number 2. Write the correct sub question number and the correct question number on every page. As far as possible, don't do any messy work. Don't just try and doing overwriting or cancellation, lot of cancellation. Okay. Apart from that, the most important thing, if the answer is little big enough, highlight few important terms. Like as I said, in case of distinguish, highlight the reagent. That makes the answer little accurate. Okay. That's it. That's all about the presentation part. Now let's discuss the analysis of board paper. We are going to discuss the chemistry 2020 paper. So here we start with the analysis part. Okay. So let's start with the first question here. Question number 1 is always generally MCQs. Okay. So as I rightly said that you are supposed to always write the proper option number along with the answer. Okay. Now here we are going to discuss each and every question little bit in detail. So the first question is about highest ionization potential. Now here generally people make a mistake of writing hydrogen. So make sure you're learning the trends properly. You have to learn the trends properly. If you make a mistake in learning trends, guys, this is really very important question and very easy to answer. But for that, again, you have to learn the trends correctly. Okay. Then question comes, the inert electrode used in the electrolysis of acidified water. Now again, here we need to understand, normally people write the correct answer here, but we need to understand that there are two different type of electrodes we are using. One is inert electrode and one is active electrode. So make sure in our syllabus, there are few electrodes which we are using. So we just have to remember that which electrode is inert over here. Fine. In this case, as we can clearly see, we have been given the option of nickel, platinum, copper, and silver. So definitely the answer is going to be B, that is platinum. Next comes a compound with a low boiling point is. Now, when I say low boiling point, of course, we are dealing with the two different types of compound, that is ionic compound and covalent compound. Generally, people make a mistake over here. For that, it is always better to learn the distinguish which is given in our textbook. Okay, at the end of the chapter, there is a distinguish given between ionic and covalent compound. If you read that properly, you will get the correct answer over here. When I say low boiling point, it is a property of covalent compound. So we should know that there should be one covalent compound out of this four options. So we can just clearly say here, sodium chloride, it is ionic. How will we come to know about it? We need to remember the metal and non-metal can form the ionic compound. Okay. Option B is again ionic compound. Option C is also ionic compound. So answer should be option D, carbon tetrachloride. Then comes the next question. The acid which can produce carbon from a cane sugar is? Which acid will help us to get the carbon from cane sugar? Now for this, you need to remember the property of sulfuric acid. There are different properties given in the sulfuric acid chapter. That is about sulfuric acid acting like a dehydrating agent, acting like it is non-volatile property. It's acidic, typical acidic property. Okay. It is being dibasic acid. Fine. So in this particular case, of course, acid being dehydrating agent, it can help us to remove the water molecule and get the carbon out of cane sugar. So obviously the answer should be sulfuric acid. So it is concentrated sulfuric acid. It might happen so that they can confuse you by writing two sulfuric acid. One is concentrated, one is dilute. So yaad rakhna, concentrated is dehydrating agent. Okay, but normally people get a correct answer over here, so not to worry about as such. Organic compound having triple carbon covalent, carbon covalent compound. Now in this case, always remember the basic general formula which we have already learned, and that is CnH2n plus 2. This is for single covalent bond. CnH2n, it is for double covalent bond, and CnH2n minus 2, it is for triple covalent bond. Now for this, guys, you just have to use these formulas given over here. Like for example, in this case, if I just try C3H4. So instead of, when I say triple covalent bond, we have to use this general formula obviously. So instead of N, I'll write 3, as in the formula it is given C3H4. So I'll just try writing 3 and let us get the answer whether I'm getting H4 or not. Fine. So 3 2s are 6. 6 minus 2 is 4. Of course, it is C3H4. So that means the first compound will have triple covalent bond. Fine. So in a very simple term, we need to remember the general formula for each and every compound, that is alkanes, alkenes and alkynes. So this is the answer key as per board. We have to just get the correct answer. But again, as I said, always mention the correct option along with the correct answer. That's the better way of writing the paper. Moving to the next question, and that is, here we go. Write the relevant observation. Now, when I say relevant observation, there's a common mistake what people makes over here. Instead of writing the test, people write the name of a compound. As I rightly said, we can't use the name of compound. We have to use observation, correct observation. Fine. So, for example, action of concentrated nitric acid on copper. Okay, so here the answer should be, of course, we have to write that when, first of all, we need to know that what happens when copper reacts with nitric acid. It will give nitrogen dioxide gas, and I have told you in the lecture as well, always pick up the gas. When you pick up the gas, of course you'll get the correct answer, and never ever mention, never ever forget to mention the word gas. Okay, so we can write here a gas is evolved. Now what color is the gas has? Whether it is colorless or it is colored, of course it is colored gas, so you have to mention that reddish brown colored gas is evolved. Achha, now there has to be a particular test of it. So what will be the test? Of course, it turns potassium iodide paper brown. So this is how we are going to write it, that a reddish brown gas is evolved. A reddish brown gas is evolved, or else there are different word given to us, whether it is gas is evolved or gas is liberated or it is fumed. Fine, any word we can use out of it, is evolved, which turns potassium iodide paper brown. This is what we can write as the observation. Okay, but as I said, always mention proper word, correct word. Fine, that is very important. Addition of excess ammonium hydroxide into copper sulfate solution. Once again, we need to mention the color. Now here people make a mistake. They have written clearly excess ammonium hydroxide. So obviously it is now not going to be precipitate. So you cannot use the word precipitate. Second point, it is not pale blue color precipitate. It is dark blue color solution. Fine. So this is the problem which people make over here. Always learn the solubility of analytical chemistry and the color of analytical chemistry correctly. That will give you the correct answer over here. So here the correct answer is going to be, first of all, not only blue color, we have to mention the correct blue, that is dark blue, deep blue, inky blue solution or deep blue solution is formed. You cannot write the word precipitate, or else if you're writing precipitate, you can write a blue color precipitate gets dissolved to form inky blue solution. Fine. So the correct word, the correct answer is inky blue solution. That is the correct word we have to use over here. Okay, let's take another example. The piece of sodium metal is put in ethanol at room temperature. Well, we'll not discuss discuss this question in much detail, but again, it is observation. So what exactly we are supposed to write here? Hydrogen gas will be formed. So we have to write the observation for hydrogen gas. You cannot just write the gas is bubbled or gas effervescence is formed. We have to mention the correct word, correct terminology over here, that a colorless, odorless gas is formed which burns, which extinguish the burning wooden splinter with a pop sound. Okay. Well, we did not discuss this question in detail. Reason because as per the reduction, this question is omitted. Moving further, zinc carbonate is heated. Remember, any carbonate is heated, it will give you carbon dioxide gas. Now, here we have to mention two tests. Okay. First of all, carbon dioxide gas has a very important test, that is lime water turns milky. But this is not sufficient. Why? Because we are giving hint to identify the gas. Okay. So when I say lime water turns milky, there are chances that it can be sulfur dioxide also. So we have to mention the other test, that is either about potassium permanganate or about potassium dichromate. That is very important. Okay. So we have to mention over here that a colorless gas is evolved which turns lime water milky and shows no effect on acidified potassium permanganate solution. Here also mention the correct term, acidified potassium permanganate solution. Okay. All right. Moving further, sulfide ore is added to a tank containing oil and water. Now here people makes a mistake because the question is mentioned about sulfide ore. They've mentioned about tank. They've mentioned about oil and water. So people straight away mention the entire froth flotation process. You cannot write that. Okay. So don't explain the entire process. You just have to write what exactly happened. So either you write about the ore particle or you write about the gangue particle. That is sufficient. So you can just simply write here that ore particles gets wet with oil and can be easily removed from the upper surface of the tank. That is one way we can write, or you can say write that particles are seen floating. Ore particles are seen floating on the surface of a liquid. That you can mention, or you can write the heavy particles, heavy gangue particles sinks. Fine. So these kind of word you can use. So there are different words given to us. Any word, any ways which you can write the answer. Fine. But this is very important. So make sure, as far as observation is concerned, for that, first of all, we need to learn the entire practical chemistry properly, all the tables correctly, mention all, learn all the tests correctly. Apart from that, whenever you see any particular observation being asked, first find out which gas is evolved. If gas is not given, then there is only a possibility, that is we have to write the color of a precipitate. That is the only way out. For that, you need to remember analytical chemistry correct. Fine. Okay. Let's move a step further now to the next question. It is about write balanced chemical equation. Now, for balanced chemical equation, generally people make some mistake of writing wrong formula. Okay. For that, guys, we need to learn few important things, and that is, of course, we need to learn valency correctly. Along with valency, you need to remember the formula. or the symbols correctly. If you know Valencian formula correctly, you will never get the equation wrong. Next very important point for balancing, for equation that is balancing, make sure that the equation is correctly balanced. Most important point, guys, there are a lot of word equations. I mean, lot of equations given in our textbook, and after behind every chapter there is one equation sheet given. Make sure that you are practicing that equation sheet properly, regularly. If you'll practice it regularly, trust me, you will not find any problem. But there is only one way out to get the equation correct, that is practice. Only one way out. If you practice correctly, no issues will come. Fine. Okay, let's move further to the next very important part, and that is the structural formula. Here the question is, draw structural formula for each of the following. They've mentioned the name and we are supposed to draw the structure. Now clearly mentioned here that we have to draw the structure. You can see they have written structural formula. By any chance you cannot write condensed form. If you'll write condensed form, it is wrong. Fine. So when I say condensed form, make sure you cannot write condensed form. When I say condensed form, I'm talking about, let's say instead of writing this methanol in this way, if we have written methanol in this form, that is CH3OH, then it is wrong. You cannot do that. Okay. All right. Next most important point, what if they have given the name and structure and we are supposed to write the name? Like for example, here they've given the common name and we are supposed to write the IUPAC name. Okay, the correct way of writing the IUPAC name as per our syllabus is of course in this form, that is ethane 1-al, eth 1-ine. This is the correct way of writing the IUPAC name. Fine. But instead of writing ethane 1-al, if you have written ethanol, ideally it is not wrong. You definitely deserve marks for that, but practice by writing in the form of position. Okay, the third way is the best way or the better way to write the answer. Moving further, give reasons. Give relevant reasons in short. Now for this, you just have to mention the correct keyword. Don't mention the brief, big answers as such. Mention the correct keyword. That's sufficient to get the marks. Like for example, graphite anode is preferred to platinum in the electrolysis of molten lead bromide. You cannot just mention that bromine platinum is expensive, so we are not using, and graphite is cheaper, so we are using. That's not the correct answer. The correct answer for this is platinum. Of course, it is expensive, but it remains. Graphite remains unaffected by the vapors of bromine. But whereas platinum may get affected because of bromine vapor. So use correct chemical word instead of using the normal, layman language. Like it is cheaper, that is why we are using graphite, and it is expensive, so we are not using. That is not the correct answer. Okay. Second question, soda lime is preferred to sodium hydroxide in the laboratory preparation of methane. We will not discuss in detail again because it is removed as per reduction. Hydrated copper sulfate crystals turns white on heating. Now here, why does it happen? So we know that water molecules get lost and hence we get the white powder. But always mention the correct term again here. You cannot write simply just water molecules are evaporated. You have to mention that on heating, hydrated copper sulfate loses water of crystallization. That is the important term over here. It loses water of crystallization, hence we get the white powder. Next comes concentrated nitric acid appears yellow when it is left for a while in a glass bottle. Now we should know the correct answer behind that. That why does it happen so? So guys, we know that concentrated nitric acid is generally kept in a dark bottle because when it comes in contact with sunlight, it will decompose and it will break to give us nitrogen dioxide gas, and that is why it turns yellow. Fine. So the correct answer is, of course, because nitrogen dioxide forms, it gives yellow color, which is reddish brown in color. So we get yellow color liquid, pale yellow color liquid over there. Fine. But why does it happen? So because the substance decomposes. So we have to mention here, the correct term is decompose. That nitric acid decomposes to form a reddish brown color nitrogen dioxide, which remains dissolved in the liquid. Hence, we get the yellow color when it is kept for a while in sunlight. Okay. Moving further to the next question, hydrogen chloride gas fumes in moist air. When I say fumes in moist air, people make a mistake over here of writing dense white fumes. It is not about the reaction of hydrochloric acid with the ammonia in air. No, that is wrong. When I say here that hydrogen chloride gas fumes in moist air, this means because hydrogen chloride is highly soluble in water, it absorbs the moisture and it forms a mist. That is what the word fumes in air is all about. It is not about it is reacting with ammonia gas. So don't make misunderstand two different word over here. Dense white fumes, it is when the reaction happens with ammonia. But when I say fumes in air, this means it dissolves in the moisture which is present in the surrounding. So hydrogen chloride absorbs the water, absorbs the moisture and dissolves in it. That is what exactly the question is about. So reason behind that is hydrogen chloride gas is highly soluble in water. That's the correct answer for it. Yeah. Moving further, to the next important term point here is, of course, the numericals. In case of numericals, as I said, first of all, don't make a mistake of writing the wrong molecular mass. Don't calculate the wrong molecular mass. So just focus on your calculation. Okay. Here, as per reduction, now we have only two different types of questions to be answered. That is Gay-Lussac law, and of course, the second is empirical formula. So would love to mention here about empirical formula, that always write the correct table. Okay, so use correct format. So that is the first important point. So use correct format for empirical formula. We'll definitely discuss once we will get a question related to empirical formula in the later part. Okay. Second thing, always concentrate on your calculation. Here in calculation, the accuracy is very important. So if your calculation is wrong by even a small decimal, so your answer will be wrong and you will lose marks over here. So mention the correct, find out the correct accuracy over there. Next thing, you need to remember a few general points, that is standard temperature, standard pressure. At the same time, basic conversions like 1 liter is equals to 1000 milliliter. This is a basic conversion which we have to remember. Okay, so these are few basic things which you should not forget under any circumstances. Okay, with respect to numericals, there is no much problem here. As I said, only few basic problem people makes, that is the calculation. People calculate the wrong thing. That is the only problem which generally people makes here. Moving further, write a correct word or a phrase. Now here people generally make a mistake of writing formula instead of writing a name. At times we do this kind of mistake and we actually jumble up with two different words. Okay, like for example, chemical bond formed by shared pair of electrons. Each bonding atom contribute one electron to the pair. Now there are two different definitions have been given in chapter. One is coordinate bonding and the second is covalent bonding. Covalent bonding में electrons, shared pair of electrons are coming from both the atom. Whereas in coordinate bond, the shared pair of electrons are coming only from one single atom. So don't misunderstand two different words. Okay, so here the correct answer is of course covalent bond. Okay, so this is one common mistake what people normally makes. Then electrode used as a cathode in electrode refining of impure copper. Normally people write the correct answer that the copper will be used as cathode. But which copper? That we have to mention because we are talking about electro refining here. And in case of electro refining, we purify the copper. So we need to mention that we are using pure copper. If you have not mentioned the word pure copper, then you may lose a marks. The substance prepared by adding other metals to the base metal in proper proportion to obtain the certain desirable properties. Then what exactly the term is? Of course, this is very simple. That is alloy. tendency of an atom to attract electron towards itself when combined in a compound. Now here there are two different words. When it comes to tendency of an attraction, there are two different terminology we have learned in a chapter. One is electron affinity and the second is electronegativity. But make sure electron affinity is about energy and electronegativity is about attracting the shared pair of electron towards itself. Okay, so here in the question they are mentioning about tendency of an attraction in a compound. That means the answer is electronegativity, not electron affinity. Electron affinity is about energy. Remember, electron affinity is about energy. The reaction in which carboxylic acid reacts with alcohol in presence of concentrated sulfuric acid. Now here people write very variable answers as such, but we will not discuss. Again, reason because this is not there as per the reduction. So this question we are not going to discuss in detail. Okay, so let's move further to the next important term. Question number H. Question 1H. Again, here you're not supposed to write the entire statement, of course, but we have to write the correct answer. That's it. But while writing, mention the proper sub-question number. Let's generally talk about the general mistake what people make here. Like, for example, polar covalent compound in a gaseous state that does not conduct electricity. What exactly should be the answer? Now, again, as I said, learn the distinguish between ionic compound and covalent compound properly. You will not make any mistake over here. Fine. A salt prepared by displacement reaction. Again, this is not there as per reduction, so no more discussion on that. Even third question is not there, so no more discussion on that. An alkali which completely dissociates into ions. Now this is very important. Which alkali dissociates? So for that we need to know that there are two different types of acid and base we have learned, that is strong and weak. The one which completely dissociates is always strong alkali, and the one which doesn't dissociate, it is weak alkali, of course. Okay, so what should be the answer over here? Here they've given the option ammonium hydroxide, calcium hydroxide, and lithium hydroxide. Okay, here we can write calcium hydroxide also, we can write lithium hydroxide also. Both the answers are correct. So at times this might happen that there are two different answers given which are almost correct. So you can get marks for any one of the answer which is correct. Okay. Moving further, again, alloy, we just have to read once, but as per reduction, it is not there. Okay, now this is something really very important. Let us read the question here. They have said a following table represents the elements. So these are the elements they have said. Okay. With reference to this, answer the following questions. Now here, one of the biggest mistake what people make is they try to identify which atom is that. Like for example, P's atomic number is 13. So they try to identify that P is 13 means it is aluminum, and they write answers mentioning aluminum, which is actually wrong because they have clearly mentioned that these are the symbols which are representing elements. We have to use that symbol only. You cannot write the correct symbol of the element. Fine. So make sure you don't make this mistake. Like for example, which element combines with hydrogen to form a basic gas? Okay, so obviously basic gas, generally we get a gas with a non-metal. Okay, so out of this three substance we have been given, Q is one which can be non-metal as 2,5. Okay, so this is going to form a basic gas. Then comes which element has electron affinity 0? Electron affinity 0 is always with noble gases. Fine, noble gases matlab completely filled electronic configuration. So always these kind of question you can write when you write the correct configuration. So we just have to mention the configuration in the mind while writing the answer. So as you can clearly see that the correct configuration is 2,8 over here. So this is noble gas. Okay. So always while writing these kind of answers, mention configuration properly. If you write configuration, you'll definitely get the correct property to hit. So as we can see now, the last symbol, that is R, it is giving you 2,8 electronic configuration, and 8 means completely filled shell. So when I say completely filled shell, that means the electron affinity is going to be 0. Okay. In the next case, name the element which forms ionic compound with chlorine. Now here you have to mention P only. Don't mention the aluminium over here, because they have clearly mentioned that use only following alphabets. You cannot use the symbols, the correct symbols. Even though answer is correct, you will not get marks. So don't mention aluminium. If you mention aluminium, you may not get the marks. Okay. All right. Moving further to the next important point here, and that is draw electron dot diagram for the following compounds given. Okay, so they've given the compounds. As I rightly said, you have to mention all the minute details over here. Okay, as you can clearly see, normally people doesn't make any much big mistake as such over here, but they never they forget to draw these arrow which mentions that the transfer of electron is taking place. So either you draw two arrow because two electrons are shared or they transferred, or you mention two electron which are being transferred. Anyways, which you will get the marks, but you have to mention that. Apart from that, you have to mention the correct naming. That is, you have to mention the name of the element. You have to mention the electronic configuration in below that, and you have to mention whether it is cation or it is anion. All these small details you have to mention. So every minute detail is important while mentioning this kind of answers. Okay. Acha, next very important point, they have not mentioned that draw the formation. They've mentioned that draw electron dot diagram for the following compound. So you can write directly the electron dot diagram for compound as well. Okay, but you have to mention every minute detail. Like in case of last example, they have mentioned water, so you have to mention that this is lone pair. So always write that detail as well, that this is lone pair. Okay, all right, moving further, this is the answer key, guys. Matlab what all main points you have to include. All right, moving further to the next important type of question here. Now we have to choose the correct options from 1 to 4, and we have to match. This is as good as match the column. Okay. Now again, when we do this kind of match the column, we have to mention the correct option number and the correct option as well. Matlab we have to write answer as well as the option. So for example, conducts electricity in aqueous or molten state. Any particular substance which conducts, of course, electricity is called as electrolyte. So you have to write option D, an electrolyte. So that is how you are going to write the answer. Option D, an electrolyte. Okay. We need not have to use the basic tabular format as such, but write in a simple form. The biggest mistake what people makes is about oxidation and reduction. When I say loss of electron, it is called as oxidation, and when I say gain of electron, it is called as reduction. Fine. So loss of electron is oxidation, gain of electron is reduction. All right. Moving further to the next question over here. In this case, what kind of mistake normally people make? When I talk about Bayer's process, first of all, in metallurgy, as per reduction, now we are only left with the major part, that is aluminium reduction and alumina, that is Bayer's process, formation of alumina. Okay. Here people normally make a mistake of writing wrong chemical formula. So make sure you write proper chemical formula and the proper conditions as well. Okay, so you have to mention the proper chemical formula, balance the proper equation. Whenever you write any particular equation, it has to be proper balanced equation. If even if your answer is correct, even if your reactant and products are correct, but if it is not balanced, you will get 0 marks. Okay. Next question comes, complete the following. Again, we are not supposed to write entire statement, write only correct word, that is correct answer. Okay. Now here what mistake normally people make, let's understand. In first question, there is normally no mistake generally is been made as such. The last question, the acid which cannot act as an oxidizing agent. Now every time these kind of question can be asked, and just to twist you, instead of saying straight away that it is acting like reducing agent. They have twisted it by saying that cannot act as an oxidizing agent. Fine. So if you miss the word cannot, not अगर miss कर दिया तो answer wrong मिलेगा. Okay. So make sure that you use this concept. I mean, read the question correctly. At the same time, you should remember that there is only one oxidizing agent in the acids what we are using, that is nitric acid, and even concentrated sulfuric acid, which can act like a oxidizing agent. There's only one which is not an oxidizing agent, that is HCl. Okay, so you need to remember, when I say oxidizing agent, that means it helps in oxidation, and when I say reducing agent, that means it helps in reduction. Okay, so concentrated sulfuric acid and nitric acid both are oxidizing agent, whereas concentrated hydrochloric acid is not an oxidizing agent. So don't miss any word in the question. Fine. So this is a common mistake what has been observed normally, that people make a mistake of not reading the correct question as such. No, so if you don't read the question correctly, you'll have to pay for it. Okay. Again, the here match the column, you can write in a proper tabular form, but normal mistake what people is making generally, they write all the options correctly, like 1, 2, 3, 4, but here instead of writing proper option number, they write ABCD and the answer correct hota hai, but option galat hota hai. If you'll make that way, you will not get marks. Okay, so always write in this form the correct option number as well as the correct answer. Okay, next most important point, you have to read the tables, the gas table correctly. If you read the gas table correctly, then only you will be able to answer this kind of question. This is basically about the test to identify different gases. So remember, lead acetate paper is for hydrogen sulfide gas. Okay, when I talk about acidified potassium dichromate solution, it is either for carbon dioxide or for sulfur dioxide. If it turns, then sulfur dioxide. If it doesn't turn, that means it is carbon dioxide. Lime water is always for both carbon dioxide or sulfur dioxide. So अगर दोनों दिया है ऑप्शन तो चेक करो, there will be a jack in that. There will be a question like, for example, here they have given carbon dioxide and sulfur dioxide both, दोनों ऑप्शन दिया है. ओके, तो मिल्की वाटर किसके लिए आएगा? सो फॉर दैट first find out potassium dichromate or permanganate test is given or not. So as you can see, this test is given. It turns green, that means of course it is sulfur dioxide. So obviously carbon dioxide is for lime water, right? So this way you have to identify the correct option, but again, as I said, you need to learn proper test. Okay, next comes differentiate between two different compounds, all right, using different categories. They have mentioned the categories, you have to use that category only. You cannot write answer as per your Wins and Fences. You have to use the proper parameter given over there. Fine. So this is another biggest mistake what people make. They write the answer as per their parameter, but you can't do so. You have to use the correct parameter, given parameter only. All right. Next comes draw isomers. Now, in this case, first and the foremost thing, you have to use only structural form. You cannot use any other form. So first point, always use structural form only. That is one point. Okay. Second point, you have to mention IUPAC name. Always mention IUPAC name. If you have not mentioned IUPAC name, you will not get marks. Okay, you may lose marks in that case. So always mention, as you can see here, they've mentioned correct IUPAC name. And you have to draw structure as per marks. If there is, the question is for 3 marks, you have to draw 3 different structure for it. Okay, so this is how you can identify the structures. This is how you can basically write the answers correctly. Fine. Moving a step further, then comes answer based on laboratory preparation. Now, generally, this question they can ask either in this form, the way it is given on the screen right now, or they can give you diagram, and based on diagram, we have to answer this question. Okay. So whenever, like for example, the first question, give balanced chemical equation. Any particular preparation you are writing, make sure you are properly mentioning the conditions. Without condition, you will not get the marks. Next, why is the concentrated sulfuric acid is used? Again, as I said, always stick to the point. Don't try to elaborate the answer. Chemistry is more over the accuracy, more about the accuracy. You cannot elaborate answers much. Okay. So as you can see here, they've asked about concentrated sulfuric acid to be used over nitric acid. So reason we know, there are two reasons. Number one, it is volatile. Nitric acid is volatile, rather sulfuric acid is non-volatile. And sulfuric acid has high boiling point, और vice versa उल्टा भी हम लिख सकते हैं, concentrated nitric acid is volatile and has a low boiling point, so we can't use. Next comes the next very important term, and that is about how is the gas collected. You have to use correct word. You cannot describe ki how the jar was kept and how the gas was going in. No, that is the wrong way. People elaborate in that way. Fine. So that is wrong. You have to use the correct terminology, that is upward displacement or downward displacement. Apart from that, mention it as air or water. Okay. Next comes name the drying agent not used. Again, question dhyan se padho. Not used for drying the gas. So obviously we can write any one like quicklime or calcium oxide or phosphorus pentoxide. Any one is correct, of course. But क्वेश्चन में लिखा है नॉट यूज. कॉन्सेंट्रेटेड सल्फ्यूरिक एसिड यूज किया जाता है सो दैट इट डजंट रिएक्ट विद द गैस. ओके, सो अगेन reading question correctly is really very important while writing the answer, guys. Moving further, again distinguish between, I told in the beginning, while writing the distinguish, point number one, you have to use proper tabular format. Point number two, you have to use the correct reagent, and the reagent should be same for both the substance. For one substance you are using one reagent and for other substance you are using some other. It is wrong way of presenting the answer. Point number three, always mention the observation. Don't write the name of product. Okay, so point number one, use tabular form. Point number two, same reagent. Point number three, we have to use observation, not the compound. You cannot write the name of product. Always use the name of the test, the gas or any particular substance formed over there, the test of it. As you can see here, it is mentioned that people write the name of product instead of writing observation. And second point, they write observation without mentioning reagent. So we have to mention the reagent correctly. Fine. So that is very important part when we talk about this kind of questions. Moving further, again with respect to calculation, as I rightly said, for calculation you have to use the correct format, you have to use the formula if they've been mentioned over there, and calculation is really very important. Okay, all right, and this is something really very interesting. Identify the substance. Okay, for this practical chemistry is really very important. Salt P has a light bluish green color. On heating, it produces a black color residue. Salt P produces brisk effervescence with dilute HCl, and the gas evolved turns lime water milky. So they've given hint that when salt P is reacting, it gives you effervescence which turns lime water milky. Matlab carbon dioxide gas is evolved. And remember, carbon dioxide gas is always evolved from the carbonate only. So here we could crack one point, that the salt P contains carbonate. Okay, now I have to reach the correct substance as well. So they have mentioned the color of the compound, that it is light bluish green color. Light bluish green color matlab copper का compound हो सकता है. So we could crack the last part. मतलब it is as good as जैसे हम डमशराज खेलते हैं और हम बोलते हैं कि 4 word है, 3 word है, 2 word है. भाई यहाँ पे हमें वही काम करना है. We have to first identify anion or cation, and you have to hit those two cation and anion together. So here, for anion, as we could identify that brisk effervescence is formed, it turns lime water milky and no effect on acidified potassium dichromate. मतलब ये कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड गैस इवॉल्व हुआ. कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड गैस किस में से इवॉल्व होता है? तो कार्बोनेट से. And when carbonate the compound is light bluish in color, light bluish green in color. means it is copper compound. So obviously when I bring them together, I'll get the compound as copper carbonate. So that is the correct answer. Okay, so that's how we are supposed to identify. Next comes salt Q is white in color. They've mentioned the color over here. On strong heating, on strong heating, it produces buff yellow residue and liberates reddish brown gas. It gives you reddish brown gas. Now there is only one reddish brown gas, guys. It is nitrogen dioxide, right? Nitrogen dioxide will form like CO2 is always formed from carbonate. Exactly in the same way, nitrogen dioxide is always formed from nitrate. So one thing is very clear, we got nitrate. Okay. Now let us read the question again. They are saying salt Q is white in color. The substance is white in color. Now there are calcium compounds are white in color. Lead compounds are also white in color. Zinc compounds are also white in color, right? But they have mentioned that on heating, it gives you buff yellow residue. Buff yellow residue एक ही है जिसको हम litharge बोलते हैं, and that is lead oxide. So obviously this is the compound of lead. In short, it is lead nitrate. Fine. Again, I repeat, guys, you have to read your practical chemistry very nicely. Read your textbook thoroughly. You will reach each and every points correctly over there. The last question says here, salt R is black in color. Now this is black in color. Fine. On reacting with concentrated HCl, it liberates pungent greenish yellow gas. Now pungent greenish yellow gas, that too with by reacting with chlorine. Okay, मतलब क्लोरीन गैस इज फॉर्म, क्लोरीन गैस फॉर्म हुआ, बट क्लोरीन गैस फॉर्म हुआ इसका मतलब वो HCl का ही क्लोरीन है. Fine. Now there is only one reaction where a black color substance is reacting with HCl to form greenish yellow gas, and that is manganese dioxide. पूरी टेक्स्ट बुक में there is only one compound which is black in color reacting with HCl to form chlorine. It is manganese dioxide. Fine. So guys, you need to read your textbook very nicely to crack these kind of questions, and this is really very important type of questions. Fine. Okay, moving further to the next question here. Identify the substance underlined. Now here they have given the hint to identify the substance again. There they had given the detailed information. Here they have given the word to identify. So first, the electrode that increase in the mass during electro refining of silver. Which electrode increases in the size? Anode or cathode? So always remember, when I do electro refining, okay, in case of, for example, if it is copper refining, then what we were doing? Very simple. At anode, we were taking impure block of copper, and at cathode we were using pure sheet of copper. So what used to happen? Slowly the copper from impure block will reach the cathode and will deposit over there. So this is going to be cathode. So while answering, try to imagine your entire process, because this is very important here. Normally people make a mistake of writing anode instead of cathode. People get confused between two different words here. Then comes the acid that is dehydrating as well as drying agent. There's only one acid which is acting like a drying agent as well as dehydrating agent, that is concentrated sulfuric acid. But don't mention only sulfuric acid. If you write only sulfuric acid, it is wrong. You have to mention word concentrated. Right? The catalyst used to oxidize ammonia into nitric oxide. Now again, this is catalyst which we are using. For that, we have to remember there are two reactions of ammonia. One is ammonia reacting with oxygen without catalyst, and the second reaction, ammonia reacting with oxygen in presence of catalyst. Okay, it is platinum. Many people make a mistake of writing, variable answer like copper, rhodium. बहुत सारे आंसर लिखते हैं हम लोग. Okay, they write vanadium pentoxide, iron. Fine, it is not iron or vanadium pentoxide, it is platinum. Straightforward reaction is given in our syllabus. Okay, so always mention the correct form. With respect to alkenes and alkynes, you have to remember the basic general information. Okay, and make sure while writing the answers, while learning the equations, there are limited equations are there now after reduction. So all limited equations, you need to know the basic information, like whether it is substitution. If it is addition of hydrogen, then that is called as hydrogenation. If it is addition of chlorine, bromine, iodine, then it is halogenation, like that. Okay, so learn that terms as well. Then comes write balanced chemical equation for the following. This is not there as per reduction, so we are not going to discuss, as this part is omitted after reduction. Okay, let's come to the next point. Alkaline earth metal present in group 2 and period 3. Now for this, guys, you need to remember the sequence. If you remember, I told you that there are certain sequence which we are supposed to remember. We have to remember only group 1A, 2A, 7A and 0 group. These are the only groups which we have to remember, and we have to remember period 1, period 2 and period 3. That's it. These are the only things we have to remember. So try to imagine the entire periodic table in front of you. You will get the correct answer if you remember the perfect sequence. Fine. They have clearly mentioned here it is present in group 2. So it is present in group 2 and it is present in period 3. So you have to start. It is beta, mange, car. So it reach to which symbol that you need to remember. Fine. Now, अब यहाँ पे लोग क्या mistake करते हैं? Period 1 में there is no element in group 2. Magnesium is present in period number 3. Calcium is present in period number 4. And magnesium is present. Beryllium is present in period number 2. Now this kind of mistake people make. I repeat what mistake people generally make here. I repeat once again. I said you have to remember the period number and group number. Okay. Now here period 1 we have to remember that there is no element except in group 1 and 0 group, that is hydrogen and helium. ये logic याद रखना है. Period 2 starts here with group 2 beryllium, that is beta, mange, car and so on. So period 3 may we got magnesium, which is a part of group 2. So that's how we can easily identify, but for that you need to remember the sequence again. Trivalent metal used to make light tools. Light tools matlab the metal should be lighter enough, and there is only one metal which is trivalent as well as lighter, that is aluminium. Monovalent non-metal present in fluorspar. Fluorspar matlab CaF2, that is CaF2. And non-metal यहाँ पे कौन है? Of course chlorine. Okay, let's move further to the next important term. Here we have been given the diagram. We have to answer questions based on diagram. This is nickel electrolysis. Okay, in short, plating of nickel. What do you observe at cathode and anode respectively? So let's understand what exactly is the question is here about. Nickel 2 sulfate was electrolyzed using nickel electrode. Observe the diagram and answer the question. So of course nickel is silvery metal. So on cathode, this is electroplating, guys. Okay, so what happens on cathode? On cathode there will be deposition of metal. So we have to mention the correct answer. What do you observe means silvery metal is deposited. The word deposited is very important. Okay, normally people make a mistake of writing anode answer in cathode and cathode answer in anode. So what happens with anode? For anode you can write either the size decreases, or it reduces in the mass, or it dissolves, or it diminishes. Fine, this kind of word you can use. Name the cation that remains as a spectator ion in solution, which doesn't deposit or which doesn't get electrolyzed. It is going to be hydrogen, because here we'll be having nickel sulfate solution. So there'll be hydrogen, which will be the next cation apart from nickel, which is still present in the solution. Okay, next comes here, which equation for the equation at anode is correct? At anode, what happens? Nickel from anode is coming out in the form of nickel ion. So nickel will lose the electron to form nickel ion, that is Ni plus 2. For that, it has to lose 2 electron as well. Fine. So either this equation or in this form, Ni loses 2 electron, that is minus 2 electron, to give you nickel 2 plus. Any one way is correct. Fine. So that's it, guys. This is what we discussed about analysis. Once again, I'll tell you, you can just check the website council website, that is cisce.org. I repeat, you can visit the council website, that is cisce.org. With respect to every subject, you will get the detailed information about the analysis. There are multiple papers given which you can just go through correctly, and you will get an idea that how are we supposed to take care with respect to different questions. Moving further, let's understand topic wise what all points we have to take care. Number one, in case of periodic table, that is the first question, guys. Very simple chapter. First of all, there are a lot of definitions given over there. So make sure you learn all the definition and laws correctly. Most important thing, trends of all the properties like electron affinity, ionization potential, learn it correctly. For that, it is always better that you make a table, write the properties across the period, down the group, and also mention which is the highest and which is the lowest. Fine. So learn it in a tabular form. It will be very easy for you. Remember group 1A, 2A, 7A and 0 group and period 1, 2, 3 in a proper sequence. They can ask you any question randomly or any element randomly. Learn all the definition and laws. The way it is given in the text. Don't try to answer in your ways. It is wrong. Chemical bonding is very simple chapter and hence it needs a lot of practice. Right? So learn all definitions and practice all the diagram with proper labels. There is one very important part in chemical bonding, that is distinguish. So make sure you learn distinguish properly. They can ask you either in the form of give reason or they can ask you in the form of distinguish based on given parameter. So learn all points. Don't learn only few points. Acid, bases and salt. Salt is already omitted. Only acid and bases we are supposed to learn. So learn proper definitions of it and learn all the equations given in that. But preferably always learn acid, bases and salt after study of compound. I'll give you the preferences at the end. In case of analytical chemistry, there are a lot of chemical equations, but this chapter is very important from observation perspective, as well as you have to remember the very important point, and that is distinguish between two compounds. So it is very important from distinguish perspective. Even these questions are also asked in this particular chapter. In case of mole concept, there are only two types of questions left, that is the law as well as the most important point, Gay-Lussac law and empirical formula. These are the only two types of questions left over here. In case of empirical formula, make sure you are making proper table. Now I'll show you what kind of table we are supposed to make here. In case of empirical formula, this table is very important. First column is about element. Second column is about percentage. Third column is about atomic weight. Fourth column is about relative number of atoms. Relative number of atoms. And the last column is about simplest whole number ratio. Simplest whole number ratio. So these are the 5 columns which we have to remember. So this is really very important. This table has a marks. Okay. So make sure you mention the correct terms and the correct labels of the table as well. Okay. So this is how we are supposed to represent the empirical formula. Make sure in case of empirical formula, while calculation, your calculation is very, very accurate, because even if your calculation has a small mistake, you will get a wrong answer. Okay. So focus on calculation when it comes to empirical formula. In case of electrolysis, focus on cathode anode reaction a lot, because that is very important and there are a lot of give reason in this chapter. In case of metallurgy, focus on mainly on aluminum extraction. That is very, very, very important. Okay. Study of compounds is really very important for diagram based questions. There are a lot of reactions, so it is very important for balanced chemical equation. It is important for observation. It is important for name the compound and name the gas as well. Fine, because from that chapter exactly we get the reaction. Organic chemistry is very important for IUPAC nomenclature. Practice all equations. There are very limited equations left now in this chapter, and this chapter has become very easy now. Okay, but again, it is very important for distinguish between chemical test, between alkane, alkene, and alkyne. Fine. So for this, we had written a table. That table you have to remember. We have already written this distinguish. A very, very, very important chapter is practical chemistry. Learn all the tables of gases. Anion table, which is very important to identify anion, to identify the gas or to identify the compound as well. Okay, so this is the most important part. Now I'll show you the preferences. I mean, while learning, which chapter are we supposed to do first and which chapter next? So this is how you're supposed to follow the sequence while learning. Always a day before chemistry paper, you should follow the sequence. So to begin with the sequence over here, the first chapter which you will learn, that is of course periodic table. Second chapter followed by this, learn chemical bonding. Then learn practical chemistry. Then after that, you learn analytical chemistry. Then you learn study of compounds. Then you focus on acid base. Then let's go with mole concept. Then go ahead with organic. And at the end, you can go ahead with electrolysis. And then comes metallurgy. Fine. So this should be the sequence. Fine. All right, guys. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so very much. And all the best. Bye, everyone.